we're going to do now is we're going to move these underneath the logs, and then we'll make it a group, or you can make it a component in itself. So you take that component and you make a new component on it. That will lock everything together, making it a group that does the exact same thing. Now, in order to move these, you have to have a point selected that you want it to be placed. And so you're going to go to the move tool, which is right here, the move tool. We're going to try to select on the center. And this part gets a little tricky because depending on where you put your mouse, you see how it kind of jumps down? If I come down here and try to move it, this is one of the hardest things to figure out, is getting your part to move where you want it to move. So right now, I believe, yep, I'm underneath there. Good. Hopefully it'll move back to where I want it to be. We can put lines on our components to help lock it in. I think that's what we need to do. Because we want to put this in a specific place. We need to, right now I'm just rotating it around. We're going to put that down there right now. In order to get it so that we have a specific point that we put these in, because we want them to be slightly in, based off of the pictures that you'll have on here as a reference. You're going to go to the bottom of the bench and you'll draw down. You want to be parallel with the edges. Let's go in 8 inches. 8 seems to be a good number for us. And then so type in 8 and then hit enter. Whoops, Control Z. That moved. We're going to grab pencil again. Come here. Make sure on the green line, type in 8, hit enter. We're going to do that from each end on every log in the middle. Try to be in the middle. Follow this line down this way. Click on that. Come this way. 8. Hit escape. Go to the next one. Green line, 8. Enter. Escape, zoom out. I'm using a mouse. If you have access to a mouse, I suggest getting it because it makes SketchUp a lot easier. Hit escape. We're going to come to this point. We're going to come down. 8. Enter. Escape. Run on this one. And these lines that we're drawing are mainly there. Really, the only point of drawing these lines is so when you're putting your logs in place, it will give it a spot to lock in. 8 inches. Zoom out. We come here. I don't like the placement of that one. We need to change where that one is, the one on the other side. 8. Enter. Escape. Delete. Grab this. Escape. We're going to delete the line that we don't want. Hopefully those lines that we just put will be helpful in moving these around. So we need to get to the top of these here. When you move these, you got to select a point. So we're going to do the midpoint and the top dead center. So the midpoint there. Then we'll rotate it down like this. Now it's going to be looking for a point for us to put these in. Let's see how that did. Yep, that's perfect. Then we're going to go to the top of this one again. And then rotate it down, snap it in. Just like that. There's your bench. Whoop, that one's not all the way connected. We'll have to go like this. Now it's all connected. And I know that our logs they're slightly in just a little bit. And you can move them if you want to. If you can just leave them just like that if you want to, that's fine. So now we have a bench. We need to do the rest for these. So we're going to find the midpoint, just like that. And then we're going to move this endpoint, just like that. We're going to rotate up again. That's exactly where we want it to be. Good. Okay. Attach this last one. Then we'll make those components. Last one. If you don't get this right away, don't feel terrible. I've been using SketchUp for 10 years now, so that's how I know it so well. Pretty much any CAD program, once you learn it, you can use it to help with other ones as well. Now we have our benches. We want to make these individual groups or components themselves. So you got to make it, you have to angle your screen so that you're only able to highlight just one of them. And they are crooked a little bit, but I'm not worried about that. If you can get it to look like this, that's good. Just get it to look similar to that, you'll be good. So we're going to go like this. We're going to get our selection tool. I'm just going to select the group that I have here. I'm going to right click, and you could make it a group or you can make it a component. We're going to say bench 1. We're going to hit OK. Now if I grab that, everything should stay together now. Grab that and move it, yep, it should stay together. If I go to rotate it, which we're going to need to rotate these, they should stay together now. Everything should, yep, it all rotates together because it's all locked in. Okay, escape, there you go. If I were to do the same thing with these, if I zoom out, and if I were to try to do the same thing with this, because I haven't, any movement I do in these, whoops, it's still selected on that. Escape, escape, escape. Click off. If I were to try to move any of these, watch what happens. It leaves the logs there and the lines there because I haven't made it a component yet. So what we need to do is we need to make these components as well. We just label that one bench 1. This will be bench 2. Whoops, escape. Control Z. Click on this. Then we're going to go to right click, make component, bench 2. Then we're going to highlight this whole thing here like that. Then right click, make component, bench 3. Now that just locked all of these individually together. Now you can move them around and start placing things where they go. Okay, so now here's basically how this is set up. This bench is almost right where it needs to be, this one right here. We're going to click the move tool down here. That's the 4th one from the bottom. You have to change it so it's the arrows pointing out and across cross section. So we're going to grab hold of this. We just need to put it on the inside of this perimeter right here like that. Whoops. It's on the, we want to do the rotating tool. We want to do this one. Why is it doing that? I need to have it move. There you go. Just move it inside the perimeter. So we have a bench here. We have a bench down here, and we have a bench approximately like right here. So they're not perfectly placed across from each other. This one we're going to need to rotate 90 degrees. So we're going to click here. We're going to rotate it. We'll start in this corner, go to this corner. Oops, escape. We need to click off of that so that one's not highlighted anymore. We want to highlight this one. Now we're going to do the rotation from here to here, about like that. Hit escape. Then we're going to go just to the move tool like this. We'll move this one to right here like that. And notice right now some of them are below, so you might need to grab a hold of it and move it up a little bit. Yep, just like that. It's going to take a little bit of time to play around with it to get everything perfect. So just be patient with it. There's a way you could use that same method that we did to create the place where those logs were. The place where those logs were, remember we drew a line to give it a specific point for it to lock in. You can do that exact same thing we did before. We're going to move this one. Right there is good. Now we're still on the move tool, so now we can start moving these, putting these in place. We had 4 in between each one. And so I'm not looking for a specific measurement, just place them. Whoops, I got the rotating on there. So we got to have 4 in between each of these, just like that. I'll show you one thing we can do with the fire pit. So this one over here like this. These over here like that. So just kind of try to keep it inside the perimeter is kind of what we're looking to do. And just like that, we have the White Pines classroom. Basically, it's pretty basic, but it works. The White Pines outdoor classroom is done. Now, what I would do if I were you guys, and it kind of bothers me that it's not spaced out right, so I'm going to go like this and move these around a little bit. I'm going to pull these out this way. Then I'll pull the benches down just a little bit so we can space out. We'll leave that one right where it is, and we'll put these out here like this. We'll kind of space them out a little bit better. Right on the edge, just like that. That's why it looks different. That's why they look like different sizes, because they're not placed on the same plane, so you got to move them up. Use the bottom. Click on the bottom and then bring it onto the line. Click on the bottom and bring them up to the line just like that. That will help. Okay, then we're going to move this one. Click on the bottom of it. You click on the bottom and then bring it over to the line. It should lift it up to where it needs to be. Zoom out. So we'll put this one like this. And we'll just move this one over here like this. Click on the bottom of it and then bring it up to the line. And I'll put it so that they're all kind of on the same height. There you go. And then we can spread these out a little bit more. Hold the bottom and put it out like to the edge of the line here like that. That way it's in where it needs to be. Move that one in just a little bit. Move this one over just a little bit. Move this one over just a little bit. Move this one over just a little bit. Look at that. That's better. So it's basically, what we just did right there is basically this picture. It's not 100% the same, but it's pretty close. You got your 4 benches. This is almost more of a triangle, but we used a rectangle for SketchUp, so it's just like that. So it should look pretty close. There are ways to add different components to it. Like if you came over here, you can add different geographical things, and we could put a tree in right here. One other thing I thought about as I was just working here, we could go like this and raise this up like 6 inches and then hit enter and then click on the center of this and hit delete. So it's now it's an actual firing, just like that. This one is done.